Welcome back, guys. Welcome to day 12, and we're just going to jump right into it. 12th day, a day of prayer for deceased priests and religious. As the Lord found iniquity even in his angels, many of the priests of the Most High and the spouses of the Lamb may be detained in purgatory. Let us this day fervently pray for their release. First, because being specially consecrated to his service, he will receive more glory from them in heaven. And secondly, because of the succors we derived from them in order to our salvation while on earth. The heroic act of charity. The heroic act of charity is an offering, a voluntary gift, of all the personal works of satisfaction we may perform during our lives, and of all the suffrages we may receive after our death, to be applied to the relief of the souls in purgatory. We place all in the hands of the ever-blessed Virgin, praying her to dispose of them as it may please her in favor of the faithful departed. Though this offering has been approved by several popes and enriched by many indulgences, some objections have been made to it, which we propose to consider briefly in the following paragraphs. When devout souls are exhorted to this practice, some are wont to reply, "We acknowledge that it will be a great charity to the souls in purgatory, and therefore very agreeable to God. But it is a complete surrender of that which we ought to cherish most, our prayers and good works. After disposing of all to the holy souls, what will remain to discharge our own debts? What can we expect at the hour of judgment if we appear before God stripped of all the merits of our Christian life and with hands entirely empty? And then to think that we shall no longer be able to direct our prayers as we may desire, either for ourselves or others, for our spiritual or temporal welfare, for our living relatives, friends, and benefactors. We cannot make such a sacrifice." The apparent force of these objections is based upon a false notion of the heroic act. A simple explanation of the teaching of theology on this point will be sufficient to assure us that we shall lose nothing, but in reality gain much by this holy practice. All the acts of our soul, when in a state of grace, prayers and good works of every kind, bear a fourfold fruit of merit, of propitiation, of impetuation, of expiation, or satisfaction. Therefore, the faithful may, in virtue of a single good work, ask and obtain a favor, appease the anger of God, merit an augmentation of grace here below with a new degree of glory in heaven, and satisfy the divine justice. These four qualities which theology teaches us are proper to each act when one is in a state of grace, are so many mysterious forces and supernatural powers placed at our disposal by the divine mercy to combat our spiritual enemies and to accomplish our destiny. Now, what does the heroic act require? That we should despoil ourselves of all the merit of our good works? Not at all. It calls for only the fourth part of our good works in favor of the holy souls. That is, the expiatory or satisfactory part. It is this portion that we place in the hands of our Blessed Lady to relieve their sufferings or to deliver them from their torments. The meritorious, the propitiatory, and impetratory portion of our spiritual acts remains in our possession, belongs personally to us, in fact, cannot be applied by way of suffrage. Moreover, the cession that we make for the benefit of the holy souls augments in value the fourfold qualities of our actions, since their merit is derived from the charity that inspires them. And how can charity be more fully shown than by voluntarily and through purely supernatural motives, renouncing in favor of our neighbor a spiritual good which belongs to ourselves? Furthermore, we thereby increase our resources 100-fold. For do we not enlist in our behalf all the souls we thus console or release? And who can express the ardor of their gratitude to their deliverers, the promotion of whose welfare has thus become a sacred obligation to them? This multitude of grateful souls, then, will unite their prayers with ours, and God will refuse them nothing. The heroic act has some analogy to the miracle wrought in the desert, where Christ fed 5,000 men with 5 barley loaves and 2 fishes. That is, he returns to him who had furnished the bread much more than he had originally given. By the charity of this boy, the 5 barley loaves, multiplying under the divine benediction, not only fed the famishing thousands as much as they would, but so abundantly that what remained filled 12 baskets. Thus it is with the gifts we make to the holy souls. In our hands they are only as 5 barley loaves, but with the divine benediction they acquire an extraordinary merit, and not only benefit thousands of suffering souls, but enrich ourselves in 100-fold. 2 points only in the teachings of theology upon purgatory are illuminated by the infallible rays of Catholic dogma, viz. The existence of a place of detention, and the fact that the prayers of the living are beneficial to the souls therein. All else is veiled in the greater or lesser obscurity of theology opinions. We cannot know what souls are most in need of our prayers, or whether those for whom we pray are in purgatory or not. No one can tell in what proportion or according to what law in the divine economy our suffrages are available for those for whom we pray. God indeed respects our intentions and applies our suffrages in accordance with our desires when there is in them nothing contrary to his will. But if the souls from whom we pray are not in purgatory, our suffrages would fall into the common treasure of the church, increasing the sum of satisfactory merits, which are applied by way of indulgence to the souls of men. For God cannot, so to speak, traverse the actual order established by his providence and apply our suffrages himself directly without in some way receiving from us a sort of authorization to do so. So true is it that the suffering souls can be assisted solely by suffrages. God disposes directly neither of our satisfactory merits nor of those which compose the treasure of the church. He passes them over to us. He liberates the souls whom we liberate. He leaves bound those whom we do not unbind, the poor souls whom we forgot. It is clear from what has been said above that our suffrages may possibly fail of the object for which we offer them. This can never be the case after which we have made the heroic act. Our expiatory merits, then, being placed at the disposal of the Blessed Virgin, who applies them herself according to the will of her divine Son, and who knows all the secrets of that dread place of purification, which are as yet concealed from us, we are left entirely free to pray for any good whatsoever for our friends, our relatives, our benefactors, living and dead. And the good God will not fail to hear our prayers according to our intentions, so long as they are conformed to his holy will. Those, then, that make the heroic act of charity need have but one anxiety, to multiply the suffrages which they have entrusted to our Blessed Mother. Ave Maria. Help, Lord, the souls which thou hast made, the souls to thee so dear, in prison for the debt unpaid, of sin committed here. These holy souls they suffer on, resigned in heart and will, until thy high behest is done, and justice has its fill. For daily falls, for pardon crime, they joy to undergo, the shadow of thy cross sublime, the remnant of thy woe. Oh, by their patience of delay, their hope and meet their pain, their sacred zeal to burn away, disfigurement and stain. Oh, by their fire of love, not less in keenness than the flame. Oh, by their very helplessness. Oh, by their own great name. Help, Lord, the souls which thou hast made, the souls to thee so dear, in prison for the debt unpaid, of sin committed here. Cardinal Newman. Saint Gertrude, having made a donation of all her satisfactory works to the souls in purgatory, the demon appeared to her a short time before her death and mocked her, saying, How vain thou art! How cruel thou hast been to thyself! For what greater pride can there be than to wish to pay the debts of others without paying one's own? Now we shall see the result. When thou art dead, thou wilt pay for thyself in the fires of purgatory, and I will laugh at thy folly, whilst thou weepest for thy pride. Then she beheld her divine spouse approaching, who consoled her with these words, In order that you may know how agreeable your charity for the souls of the departed has been to me, I remit to you now all the pains of purgatory, which you might have suffered, and as I have promised to return you 100 for 1, I will further increase your celestial glory abundantly, giving you a special recompense for the charity which you have exercised towards my beloved souls in purgatory, by renouncing in their favor your works of satisfaction. And this is the end of day 12. Thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.